Hello, welcome to my video, Making a Small Business Profitable. My name is Neil Potter with Improving Your Small Business. So I'm a part of a chat forum for small businesses, and companies put their questions up there about their current challenges and get people to respond. So a typical one, this is one here, a person puts a kind of chat up there. They have a store location and makes $300K a year in sales, pretty good. Growth is good, but profits are not there yet. And the owner then asks the question how to restructure their debt. So they probably have credit card debt, bank loan kind of debt, that kind of stuff. And so when I look at the question, to me, the response is not about debt or how to restructure debt. Now, a lot of people in the chat forum then piled on with suggestions for where to go to get better debt. Cheaper debt, different kinds of debt, kind of more debt. And so I think that is a pretty poor response about many people. Let's discuss some other things that could be done on that company, and what I shared with them. So I think firstly, 300K is actually good, and that tells me there is room to maneuver. There are things we could do to either make the expenses less and make the 300K therefore a higher profit, or we maybe make the sales kind of greater. Now, if you're dealing with zero sales or $5 of sales, more challenging. But if we have some sales, we have customers, there may be more things we could do. And so, in my humble opinion, getting more loans, more problems, does not really address the causes. So, whereas the common view would be to change the loan, buy more loans, whatever, that's not my kind of view. Let's discuss things we could do. So my first question would be looking at the margins. That is, what is the markup you have for the things you're selling, whether product or service. I would say for products, at least 60%. And so if you're not doing that much, like more than doubling the cost of the item before you sell it, then really you're not going to have enough money to cover overhead, expenses, rent, etc. If you're doing services, then you want to go to maybe 70 to 80% for your markup, again to cover the labor of the service. So I'm assuming this person doesn't know for sure what their markups actually are, or their markups they're putting up with or dealing with are pretty small, because at this point they don't have enough margin to pay the overhead. Now the next step is to look at cost of goods, again to keep the margins acceptable. You need to make sure the cost of goods is going to lower, or low as you can get it, without changing the quality. You don't want to go down in quality because people would then notice and your sales will go down. But can you find a better supplier? Okay, maybe buy more in bulk for the things you sell a lot of. So don't assume that the supplier you're dealing with now is the best choice. There could be other choices you want to consider or look at to see if the percentage can go down. You're only going to change that by a few percentage points, and that can increase your margin quite a bit. The person also mentioned that they're buying their supplies on a credit card, and this is a short-term way to do it, but kind of a disastrous way to do it in the long term. If you're paying an interest rate of 20%, for example, and you're only making a markup of maybe 40%, then really kind of half your profits are going to vanishing back to the credit card company. So I think buying supplies that you sell on a credit card is like having a boat with a hole. Yes, at the beginning you can bail the water out and kind of keep afloat, but after a while it keeps on going and you're going to sink. And so I think this idea of buying things on a credit card, particularly the cost of goods, is a bit of a disaster, a complete disaster, because there's no way you're going to ever get a margin correct to then kind of pay for the overhead and the wages of the store. Now the next thing I would look at is the use of retail space. They were a retail store, and so in this case, can we reorganize the space to have more items for sale? Now we look at the total sales per square foot and try to optimize that. Maybe there are items that don't sell at all, and they should just go. Maybe there's junk in the store or too much space being used for no particular reason, and therefore looking at the space, the usage, and the sales per square foot, maybe we figure out a way to optimize the store and either have things that sell well at the front better lighting, better kind of signposts, whatever, so people can find stuff easily and then kind of check out and spend money. And so again, just a reorganization of the store, trying to optimize that a little bit and get more value out of it. So the next thing we look at is inventory. Do they have inventory that has not sold and probably never will sell, and therefore is occupying space and also holding cash in the company? Maybe we can sell that off, maybe for cheaper to somebody, and then generate cash to buy other supplies that actually do sell and avoid the credit card thing. Maybe even free up space and reorganize the store again to then make some kind of sale out of that space. Customer focus. Is the store an ideal place for people to visit and spend money? Again, is it laid out nice? Is it kind of lighted correctly? Are the things that sell at the front of the store? Is there a good flow of the customer between the beginning point, kind of what they want to buy and kind of where they can find things, and the end point, kind of where they check out? And so don't assume that's optimum. There could be better ways to light it, organize it, label it, signpost it, whatever. It makes it a lot more appealing for people to go in there, pick out their things, maybe kind of know what else they could kind of buy, because the things are going to stack together or group together, and then kind of check out. So don't assume that you have the best possible way to do it right now, particularly kind of losing money. There'll be other things we could do to improve that. Look at the average transaction value. So looking at what people actually buy at any one time. Could they buy A and then buy B? Could you sell them on A, B, and C? Maybe they're going to go together. There's a discount if they buy more than one of them. So look at the things that tie to the item they bought, and that could be also purchased at the same time. And there's a motivation to going to do that. They at least know about it. You educate them. And there could be a discount if they're going to buy that extra thing. So increase the value of the whole sale. Increase frequency. Maybe they come back more often. Maybe there's a benefit to them, like a discount or something, when they come back more often. And so trying to improve how many times they come back into the store to going to buy more things that are good for them. And maybe asking for referrals. So actually, if they look vaguely happy with you, ask the question, are you vaguely happy with me? Ask them for a referral. Maybe give them some business card or a flyer or something they can give to their colleagues or friends, whatever, that actually tell them about you, and they can come to the store too. Maybe you collect the customer's name with their permission, and every month or so you email them with a reminder of what's going on, what events, what kind of something new, and a request at the end, oh, by the way, could you please refer us to a friend? We'd appreciate it. Okay. And so going to keep that person in mind helps you generate more business, because they are your kind of semi-salesperson running around. So the next thing I would look at is the ability of the salespeople. Are they any good? Don't assume they're going to be as good as they can get, or they're great right now. Maybe they're amazing. Maybe they're terrible. Okay. Maybe you don't know what to do about them. Okay. So are they like a Nordstrom kind of level, where they care about the customer, they're polite, they're knowledgeable, they know how to recommend things, they don't kind of push, kind of like a 5 out of 5 kind of level? Or are they we don't care kind of people, come into the store, we don't care, buy something, don't buy something, we don't care, have your need kind of serviced or met, we don't care? Are they basically vanilla, terrible, or are they any good? So don't assume they're actually brilliant right now. There could be things they could do to improve their sales activity. And then as a company where 80% of your sales come from, and what items are not worth selling. Maybe there are some items that don't sell very much, because they have a very low margin, and therefore you sell some of them, they occupy space and they take time and effort to going to sell, but you really make no money out of them whatsoever. Either you want to get rid of those items, because they're just a burden. You may think you're doing well because you sell a lot of them, but you only make 50 cents every one. So actually you may be either losing money or making a tiny bit of money. It's just not worth the effort. Or maybe you can change the supplier for that, or change the cost of that to the retail cost, make more money on it. Or maybe you're going to just get rid of the whole thing altogether. But have a clear picture of where your money actually comes from. What is the 20% that gives you most of the sales? And what are the 80% that kind of don't? And maybe there's a clear picture of what you should be selling more of and what you shouldn't be selling at all, because you never make any money out of it. Now, another one I would look at is employees. Do you have too many employees for the sales you have? Now, I'm not a big advocate of laying people off. That's a very painful experience on both sides. And so if you have normal attrition, people kind of leave on their own accord. Do you have to replace them? Should you delay that until you have better sales from the company? Or can you take the staff you have that you believe maybe have a little bit kind of too many of them, actually convert them into sales staff? Can they learn how to sell? They could be good at it. It could be good. They could be good on the phone. They could be good on the website. They could be good on the store. They could be good on sales visits, whatever, marketing events. So maybe you take more of their resource there and make them better salespeople if there's a good fit for that kind of person, and therefore they're helping generate cash at the same time as going to performing their regular duty. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned the people on the chat forum were advocating more loans and cheaper loans and merging loans and whatever. It's all about loans and money, negative money. And so I just shared the 10 things that can help you avoid that situation with the goal of actually getting cash out of the company or more cash generated. Maybe you're going to buy goods with the cash, not a credit card. Maybe pay off loans. Maybe avoid loans scheme. So the idea here is to not just assume getting more credit cards or more loans is better, or kind of changing the loan. That's really kind of just covering up over the issues. The primary issues are the way the company runs that leads them to kind of need the loan. And so I'm kind of trying to have people think through what do they need to do to improve the way the company runs and avoid the whole loan discussion. Thank you for watching the video. Please put any comments and questions down below. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. It's just a button. Click on the button. Okay. Also, there's a video down here on the left, paying off small business debt. You might like that one too. And the one on the right, how to increase sales in a small business. Thank you. Bye-bye.